So the last two game plans that I gave you, the SPY had a reversal. At each level, I told you to buy call options to buy the dip. We had a very strong bounce at 581. We also had a very strong bounce at the gap. I made it very, very clear in terms of an auto buy level, which is a level where you can potentially just get in. And then once there's a strong confirmation on the 30-minute chart, you can add and scale into the trade. With that being said, in terms of the auto buy level, I made it very, very clear that once the SPY closes that gap at the 579 range, is likely going to have a reversal, making it an auto buy level. In terms of the reasoning behind that, throughout the past 20 days, the SPY has been literally reversing both ways at every single gap. And also in terms of overreactions, stocks can potentially have quick reversals if there's an overreaction. Meaning, if the SPY gaps up and it quickly drops back down to close that gap, it is more likely to have a reversal on that initial bounce, making it an auto buy level. So for those of you who took advantage of buying call options at that level that I gave you, I made it very, very clear to be buying call options at the gap. As soon as the SPY ended up closing and filling that gap, it did end up having a reversal. You could have just bought calls at the exact best price because I made it very, very clear that the best price would be at 579 where the gap is waiting to fill, along with this support at 578.50, getting you in towards the exact lows. Now, if you were to wait for the 30-minute confirmation, you would have been in right here at 10 a.m. when the first 30-minute candlestick closed very green and very bullish, making losing and going red on the day a personal choice. This is what the best setup looks like, and I prepared it for you a day in advance. So inside of Team Roar, we did have Uncle Tio, Keaton Win, Forbes 30 under 30. Big shout out to him. He absolutely crushed it. The first trade that he made on the day was buying SPY call options. He ended up getting in 581 call options at 9:45 a.m. He ended up getting in at an average cost of 68 cents a contract. And then he alerted everything he was doing in 100% in real time, man. What I've noticed is Uncle Tio, in terms of his trades and his vibe, they tend to just keep on gradually going within his favor throughout the day. So if you hold these trades, they can add up to massive percentage gains, man. And those gains can be extremely quickly, man. I've noticed it. He's got this vibe where he gets in a trade, it just keeps on gradually working within his favor, man. If you're to just like hold it for like 30 minutes to an hour, it could be a massive percentage gain. So with that being said, I want to give a big shout out to him because he absolutely crushed it using that overall gap reversal trading strategy, man. If you just look at the fucking returns, he ended up making over a 160% return on that particular trade, calling everything out in 100% real time. So with that being said, big shout out to him and to those of you who decided to take action because I gave you the plan. And in terms of key levels, there's key levels where you can use a confirmation, and then there's key levels, which is what I call like an automation level, where you can just get in if you like, take starters, try to get the best price, and then if there's a confirmation on the 30-minute chart, you can add and scale into the trade. And I made it very clear in terms of that 579 level. This was an auto buy level where you can literally just get in on the trade because it's very high probabilities that it's likely going to bounce and have a reversal. You know, in terms of trading, you really have to put the odds and statistics within the favor. If we're looking at the short-term trends on the SPY throughout the past 20 days, like I've been explaining to you, it's been reversing at every single gap. And also, you have to understand in terms of reversals, overreactions. If the SPY has a gap up and then the next day it gaps down, closing that gap, is very high probabilities that it's likely just going to reverse at the gap to then explode up to fill the new gap that's waiting to fill above at 581. So with that being said, if you've been using the game plans, everybody should have had a phenomenal green day on the day, being self-sufficient and using everything it is that I'm teaching you along with the levels that I'm giving you. With that being said, in terms of the new game plan is going to be very simple. Based off the daily chart pattern, the main focus is going to be to buy call options on the SPY. So in terms of the main pattern that I'm looking at, and we spoke about this in terms of, yesterday's video, right? This candlestick right here looks identical to this candlestick right here. And the next day, it's a strong bullish day. So the day after that ended up being a strong bullish day. So this is going to be the main opportunity that I'm seeing heading into tomorrow. If you take a look in terms of the extended hours trading session, the SPY is currently having a small gap up. So it ended up closing at 581.77. Right now, we're at 583.50, topping out at some resistance here at 584. With that being said, based off of the daily chart, if the SPY does gap up, or if the SPY is just holding the previous closing price and then slightly below the previous closing price, based off that daily chart pattern that I showed you, the best levels for calls, the best zone is going to be the following. It's going to be this 581.20 to 581.77. And along with that strong trend and just understanding overreaction to the downside, with the daily chart pattern foundation, it could be an auto buy level as well. But in this situation, I would encourage you to use a confirmation since we're at a higher level. And I am seeing multiple patterns on the daily chart as well. But in terms of how the market is setting up, it is favoring calls, and it's been favoring that gap reversal trading strategy that I've created, that I taught you step by step, right? So the main focus is going to be buying call options at 581.77. So 581.77. And then in terms of resistance, you got some resistance right here in the pre-market at 582.80. Had a little breakout, react at a support. Now it's going to 584, right? So the main focus is going to be buying call options for a gap reversal play at 581.20 to 581.70. That is going to be the first call zone, right? So we're gapping up. If we can have a quick overreaction to the downside, nice reversal confirmation. And also it's been reversing at the gap many times throughout the past 20 days. You got to put yourself with the odds in your favor. You got to put yourself with the overall trends, right? So with that being said, statistically, like I said, if you just check throughout the past 20, 30 days on SPY, it's been reversing at every single gap, right? That's where you want to be putting your money into in terms of these gap reversals. And also the daily chart pattern checks out where it could potentially be another strong bullish day. So if the SPY is maintaining above $581, it's going to maintain bullish and the bulls will remain in control. In terms of the next level we go to, next level is 583, next level is 584. If we break above 584, react to support. The next level we go to is 586, break above that, react to support. The next level is going to be a 2-point push above all-time highs. And then on 588 would be a strong level of interest to try puts in between 588 to 589. SPY has had very strong recent short-term trends throughout overall point of view. If you've been checking the last months, where whenever it's been spiking 2 points above new all-time highs, it tends to have a short-term pullback. Now, in terms of trying to catch a top on an all-time high play, you measure the move. So the move would be two points, right, above all-time highs. So 588.30, and you need a confirmation. You don't just want to short based off a measured move in short air. You need a strong bearish 30-minute candlestick confirmation, right? So like I said, the main focus is going to be just buying the dips. Like I've been telling you throughout these videos, if you've been watching the videos, I made it very clear. Buy the dip right here at 580.60 to 581. That was the level. It worked phenomenal. And then I made it very clear, this level right here, buy the dip at 579.20. All of the levels have been working, losing a personal choice if you follow the game plan. And there was many confirmations and many 30-minute trend patterns at these overall levels, right? So that's the simple game plan heading into tomorrow. In terms of today, there was many more reasons to be bullish that you should have caught on to based off of everything it is that I've been teaching you, right? So I told you to buy calls at the gap. There was a green bullish 30-minute confirmation. If you got in before that, you went with the auto buy play, going for the best entry. If you waited, then you went with the confirmation. So if you use a confirmation on a situation where you can try to use an auto buy play, the difference is going to be the following. You're going to be getting in at a higher price, but it's a great confirmation where timing can instantly work in your favor, right? So it's like in that situation, you can try to buy at the auto buy level and take starters, and then you could add it to the confirmations. You should have been adding or getting in at 10 a.m., right? And in terms of the main difference, like I said, the auto buy level gets you in at the best price, but there's still some sort of lack of some confirmations. So it could potentially lower a win rate in a sense. In terms of getting in at a higher price, you'll have a more safe confirmation and you should have a decent high win rate. Those are the main differences, man. But regardless, this was a phenomenal opportunity just buying at the auto buy level, and this was a phenomenal confirmation on the 30-minute chart for the gap close reversal. If you weren't in call options at 10 a.m. and you watched last night's video, I'm genuinely concerned. I don't think you should be trading. If you didn't buy call options at 10 a.m. and you were trading and you watched last night's video, I don't think trading is for you. I would just stay away from it in that situation because I'm telling you, man, it was just so simple. A gap close reversal, a 30-minute green bullish confirmation, and there was a gap to fill above. The fact that there was a gap to fill above is an added confirmation to be even more bullish because the SPY has been nonstop filling the gaps and also reversing at the gaps. Now, in terms of bullish confirmations and more reasons to be buying call options throughout the day, I told you in last night's video, it can be a bullish trend day, right? The focus is going to be calls as long as we are maintaining above that 579. The bulls are going to remain in control, right? So overall bullish trend day. We held above the previous closing price for like 2 hours right here, and there was a green, red, green pattern, meaning you should have been in on call options, which we did at the opening of this 30-minute candlestick right here. And then you sell into the rip. As you can see right here, there's resistance right here. So you buy the opening on this 30-minute candlestick, you sell the rip. The green, red, green pattern worked once again. This is something that I've been teaching you all throughout these videos. And if you study the floor of the pattern, the floor was above the previous closing price, which is bullish. The floor was above previous resistance right here. This is previous resistance right here. It breaks above. Breakout and retest. The retest is the new lows on the floor, which is bullish. The previous closing price is bullish. The 30-minute candlesticks are closing higher above the previous closing price. Green, red, green, buy call options, sell the rip, right? And then you can see that pattern was working nonstop throughout the day. Green, red, green, buy call options, sell the rip. Green, red, green, buy call options, sell the rip, right? It's working non-fucking stop, man. So just very simple in that situation. We were playing calls many times in terms of those overall opportunities, right? So that's just what I wanted to break down in terms of, today's overall price action and how you should have seen the market and how you should have overall traded. You should have been in on call options at the gap reversal, and you should have been buying call options every single time that green, red, green pattern formed. You buy call options on the opening of the next 30 minutes, sell the rip, rinse and repeat. There was 3 opportunities to do that on the overall day. So with that being said, those were the main overall, situations that I wanted to discuss in terms of SPY, right? And with that being said, I'm going to be signing off this overall video. So for those of you who are serious about trading a long side with us, it's going to be the first link down below within the description. You gain access to our chat and all of our real-time trade alerts and all of the real-time trade analysis, right? So it's the first link down below. If you would like to trade alongside with us, we're going to absolutely crush it. With tomorrow's game plan, the market is setting up for an overall phenomenal move. One thing I did want to add, so in terms of the bears, for the bears to truly take control heading into tomorrow, we need to go under 581. If 581 rocks and reacts bearish, the next level we're going to drop to is going to be 578.50, which is the level of interest where I would consider buying call options. So if the SPY flips bearish and we're reacting bearish, below 580, we'll call it 588. If the SPY is reacting bearish at 588 and there's bearish 30-minute candlestick confirmations, is gonna drop to 578.50. And in terms of interest in buying call options, if it does react bearish and the bears are taking control, I'd be interested towards that 577.60. So, as you could tell throughout making these recent videos, my main focus has really just been buying call options at the key oversold support levels, making losing a personal choice because it's been bouncing at every single level. And like I said, man, when you win, when you're green, if you choose to keep on going, you risk half of your gains at most. If you risk more than that, then, you deserve to go green to red on the overall day, right? So with that being said, as a whole, we've been absolutely crushing it. If you're serious about joining us, it's the first link down below within the description. We give you the plan. We show you the strategies to use the plan and to become self-sufficient. You should be making money and you should be learning how to trade just by watching these videos alone. Once you see us trading in real time within the chat, you'll really start to pick up on the overall strategies that we're overall using, right? Now, it's the first thing down below in the description. If you do want to join us, I'm going to be signing off.